We are now going to move on and going to move from the salvage punk into mountain grass, mountain hare, bodily imprinting, and social dances. It's my great pleasure to now introduce Isabel Lewis, who is an American artist of Dominican origin. Isabel used to live in New York City, where she danced for many choreographers, as well as creating her own commissioned work. In 2009, she moved to Europe, to Berlin. Lewis studied dance and choreography, as well as literary criticism at Hollins University, before forming and founding the Labor Union with Erika Hand in 2004. She has presented her choreographic works in many venues: the Kitchen, the Dance Theater Workshop, Dance Space Project, PS122, etc., etc. Isabel's work bridges many gaps, from literary criticism to dance, to choreography, to party, to popular culture, to internet. All these things enter her work. And as a performer, she has done many collaborations. A few examples: she collaborated with Miguel Gutierrez, Anne-Liv Young, and Tino Segal. Today, Isabel will be presenting an exploration about physical memory. The title is Mountain Grass, Mountain Hare, Bodily Imprinting, and Social Dances. A very, very warm welcome to Isabel Lewis.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me all right? Yes. It's wonderful to be here with you all. Thank you, Hans, for the introduction. Just days after being asked to present in the Memory Marathon, I was in a hotel room and scoping it out, as is my typical thing to do. It was a 5-star hotel, this classification making me particularly critical as I looked upon the fingerprint smudges on the window and a few prominent gray stains on the white curtains. I looked to the nightstand, opened the drawer, and was refreshed to find not a King James Bible inside, but instead a book of collected poems. Like St. Augustine, a voice in my ear repeating, "Pick up and read, pick up and read," I seized the book, opened it, and in silence read the first passage on which my eyes lit. Aptly so, it was Memory by William Butler Yeats. One had a lovely face, and 2 or 3 had charm, but charm and face were in vain, because the mountain grass cannot but keep the form where the mountain hare has lain. What stands out to me is this serene image of tender green grass imprinted by the soft and warm body of a hare. It is a soft image, however, not airy, but sensual and weighted, even if lightly so. Memory here is soft, but also durable and inevitable. The mountain grass cannot but keep the form. The grass bends under the weight of the resting hare. It surrenders. It can do nothing more. And the hare releases its weight into the grass for some time and then runs off, leaving its form imprinted in the grass. It is from this image that I arrive at the idea of bodily imprinting in the title of this presentation. We, like the mountain grass, cannot help but remember. Every fiber in our bodies, like each blade of grass, holds the memory of fleeting but impactful moments. Like the mountain grass, our bodies are open, vulnerable, impressionable, and our bodies remain marked. The body retains information in the form of memories, and these memories have a physical impact on the body. The questions arise for me: to what degree do we have control over that which is imprinted upon our bodies? Can we become aware of all that has been unconsciously imprinted? Can we develop a skill set around intentionally imprinting the body with new information? It is this last question that leads me to my interest in dance in this presentation. I believe dance to be a way of practicing embodiment. The bodily experience of dancing can open our perception in new ways. It has been argued that dance is a site capable of producing and not just reflecting cultural values and concerns. I would say then that nowhere else would its efficacy be more apparent than in social dance. Social dances can be seen as choreographies of coded behaviors. The social dance is laced with the affects and attitudes of its time. In the same way, an open source program will contain information about its developers and their preferences and interests at a given time. So will the social dance. We can then think of the social dances as cultural storage systems. In focusing on social dances, I would like to clarify the position of the social dancer as combining the activities of watching and dancing. The social dancer is both an observer and a doer, in that she rarely, if ever, originates a dance. She must first observe the dance and then mimic it in order to learn it and adapt it to her body and her sensibility. The social dancer's work is not in the choreographing of the movements, but in the nuancing of the moves. Her position is closer to that of the user-developer of open source software rather than the author of the source code. The user-developer makes modifications and adaptations that are beneficial to her personal usage of the program, as the social dancer also shapes the dance in a way that is beneficial to her specific social enjoyment and/or social positioning. I, for example, love headbanging. I find it beautiful, even rococo in the whirling loops of heads and hair. But I don't really like heavy metal music. I prefer electronic music or hip hop. So I could stand outside of it, watch it from a distance, and try to glean from this observation what it is and how it came to be. Or I could do it. I could adapt it to the music I like and adapt its movements to suit my taste. I think I should do it. Okay. So, it goes without saying that, wait, sorry, I think I've skipped something. Don't want to miss it. Ah, that missing page. You're not going to get out of this that easy. Sorry, guys. So, now I've felt what it is to do this thing. And this experience is a bodily memory. What I've gained from headbanging is the exciting idea that physical reorderings of the body can have radical implications. Headbanging destabilizes the uprightness of the head. Our uprightness differentiates us from animals and is a classically hierarchical interpretation of posture. Head is up, closer to the heavens, in the light. Feet are down, near the dirt, in the darkness. Headbanging knocks the head off of its pedestal, But then again, we could not headbang if it weren't for the fact that the spinal column connects with the skull underneath and near its center, affording us this mobility. It goes without saying that these experiences of body and self have changed radically through history and continue to change ever more quickly. Technology and internet contributing to the stratification of self and body, social body, private body, virtual body, multiple social and private bodies, formed in specific relation to the different social scenes or circumstances we participate in. Humans, delicate creatures that we are, constantly impressed upon by the worlds we inhabit, forming and reforming ourselves as we encounter new experiences that are stored in the body as memories. Memories and their physical manifestations literally shape us and frame our outlooks. They become our body postures, our gaits, our gestures, our preferences, in short, our habitus. In this way, our habitus, as defined by Marcel Mauss, are those aspects of culture that are anchored in the body, the totality of learned habits, bodily skills, styles, tastes, and other non-discursive knowledges. If reflected upon, this can become a site for self-knowledge, as well as for modifying, refashioning, and artistically shaping our dispositions for different contextual environments. Pierre Bourdieu imagines that habitus shapes a permanent disposition, a political mythology realized and embodied that becomes a durable way of standing, speaking, and walking, and thereby of feeling and thinking. I agree with the connection he makes between physical action and the internal processes of thinking and feeling. However, I think his conception of disposition has more room for play. I consider personal disposition to be impermanent and mutable. However, merely thinking about one's habitus is not enough. As Max Weber points out, the savage knows what he does in order to get his daily food and which institutions serve him in this pursuit. The increasing intellectualization and rationalization do not therefore indicate an increased general knowledge of the conditions under which one lives. Only slightly more sophisticated is the awareness of how we go about our business. To increase our general knowledge of our conditions, we need other types of knowledge acquisition, and I propose dancing. Specifically, social dancing as a technique of the body for expanding our schemata and our literacy of our world. If dancing theorizes about what a body can be and do, then, when we are dancing, we are conversing with social, aesthetic, and political value systems. By learning dances, we then open our field of lived experience, expanding our embodied knowledge. It is evidenced by the finding of certain marked bone and stone objects that by 77,000 years ago, humans were recording information. As speech does not fossilize, we have no evidence of when early humans started to use complex language to communicate, and similarly, no evidence of early movement systems or choreographies. The first dance notation doesn't appear until the 15th century, but we can imagine that thousands upon thousands of years before, sequenced movement was used to store and pass on information. Today, we have YouTube. Never before have we had such access to social dances from all over the world. Not only can we observe the dancing itself and learn the moves, We are also given information about who is doing these dances, how they dress, how they live. We also have quantitative data about the popularity of the dance and the number of views a particular video has, as well as the number of videos that appear with the same tag. So I'm just gonna maybe go through and show you a couple of these, turn the sound up and peek into a couple of these windows. So we can take a look at the tectonic. I don't think we could have had the tectonic or other rave dances without the digital revolution, the internet age. In the same way, we could not have had breakdancing without the industrial revolution, the machine age. Likewise, we could not have had the Wrangler Stretch without the revolution of stretch denim jeans. And I don't have a video of the Wrangler Stretch, but it's something kind of like, I couldn't find it, but I read the instructions, and it said this. Stretching the arms up, and then it was like, 1, 2, 3. This is the Wrangler Stretch, and it's supposed to be like you're putting on your tight, stretchy Wrangler jeans. And of course, we could not have had the twist, the first popular individualized dance, without the increasing individualization of contemporary society. Let's see if we have a couple of twist videos in here. Let's go for the Playboy Bunnies doing the twist. There we go. Doing such a good job because they don't have enough mobility in their outfits. So let me see if I find a better one in here. We don't have it. I don't have it up, but I'll show you the kuduro for a moment, which is pretty exciting. So I guess I'm suggesting here a little bit to be a poser, to put your body in different movement contexts and see what happens. In closing, I would like to trace an imagined etymology for the word remember. Remember has its origin in Middle English from Old French remembrer, deriving from late Latin rememorari, meaning call to mind, derived from re, expressing intensive force, plus the Latin memor, meaning mindful. But what about this instead? Let's say we break up the word into re from Latin back or again, and member from Latin membrum, meaning limb. Making limb into a verb, and limb, if you will, we then have re-enlimb, to enlimb again, or to embody again. It is with this sense of the word remember that I ask you to remember your bodies. I would like to thank you all for your attention, and thanks to Hans-Ulrich for the invitation.